day 17, and we have only a few more days to complete the second quarter, where we're going to put most of our effort and focus on prayers. And the third quarter, we're already going to go to a much higher and better level. But now I want to concentrate on something, because in the last couple of days, both in the Zohar and before, we were talking about, very briefly to say the least, about Tikkun Brit. Now, of course, the first of all is just not to do the sin. That's number one. And if a person is rinse and repeat, sins go back, I mean, then one cannot really do a tikkun, but it doesn't mean that one should not have the effort to at least do the minimum of the minimum. Even if a person, I mean, a lot of people say, listen, I'm sinning anyway, so what's the point of doing anything? That's not the right attitude. But it's almost like having a how do you call it? We used to call it a dingy. Like a life boat, like a little boat. When I was young, my grandparents from Australia, so my grandfather had a yacht, and every summer we used to go there to vacations and take the yacht. Best summer vacations I ever had. So we used to pull behind the yacht a little boat, and it was like a dinghy. You know, sometimes you don't want to get with the whole yacht next to the shore. You jump in the dinghy and you know. So I remember once the dinghy was full of water. So I jumped in it and I was taking the bucket and pulling it out. But we found out that probably in the night, probably two yachts were bumping. Something happened and there was a crack, so the water was coming in. So I was putting water out and water was coming in. And in my mind, I was like, what's the point of taking it out? It's coming in. Yeah, but if you're not going to take it out, it's going to be completely full. So same thing here, even if a person, chas v'shalom, still is in the process of failing and sinning, but still the tikkun has to be done simultaneously, because it will help a lot, and, needless to say, at some point also weaken as much as possible the desire, the te'ava. So we incorporated to say, first of all, Tikkun HaKlali every day. That's very, very important. Same thing with Perek Shira and the rest of the things that we do. Tikkun Memchet, 48 from the Zohar. I don't see everybody do it, but try to do it. Even if you don't understand what you're reading, I understand that some people, it's very hard with them with the Hebrew letters, but I'm writing now the transliteration. We'll have it soon, so you can at least pronounce you have the transliteration? What is that, printed or PDF? So anyways, it would be good if I have it in so good. That's Tikkun HaKlali. Oh, I'm talking about the Tikkun Memchet of the Zohar. Transliteration for Tikkun HaKlali, that's already was done a long time ago. I couldn't find any transliteration for the Tikkun Zohar, but I'm working on it. And it's not so long. But the point is, you have? So the point is that we need to do as much as we can as we go. Of course, the goal will be to completely dry the swamp, as they say. And the best of all is, of course, in Hebrew we call it lisgor tashiber, close the main valve. Then the balagan stops happening. But today what I want to focus on, since we are focusing on prayers, when we pray Shmona Esrei 3 times a day, this is the peak of our prayer. And every prayer, most Sidurim, they don't have it. The basic Sidurim, they will just have the text. If you pray from a specific Sidur that has all the explanations, the meditations, acronyms, all this stuff, you can take a look later on from the Sidur that I pray from, that it shows you every prayer. What's the meaning behind it? We'll do some crash courses about that, because if you're just reading the text and you don't understand what's going on behind it, you're missing a huge part of it. So the other day we were learning from one of the prayers, also very briefly. If you remember when I was telling you, Lamenim v'lamalshinim al titikva, remember we were learning that? So now I want to go to another part of Shmona Esrei, that the part of it is Tka b'shofar gadol lechirutenu. So this is right in the beginning, right after we say the first few blessings. And I will quickly see what it says in it in English. But in Hebrew it says, Tka b'shofar gadol lechirotenu, v'sa nes lekabetz galuyotenu. Sound the great shofar for our freedom, raise a banner to gather our exile and bring us together from the four corners of the earth, blah, blah, blah. And most people think that it's only focusing on, we want to hear the great shofar and be gathered from all four corners of the world, which is not away from the reality. But the more inner meaning of it, I will explain, and then we'll see what we need to do. So, first we're saying, Tka b'shofar gadol lechirotenu, blow the shofar, the great shofar for when we want to hear for our redemption, v'sa nes lekabetz galuyotenu, and make a miracle to gather us from all four corners of the world. But then we say the magic word, v'kabtzenu yachad me'arba kanfot. Gather us together from all four corners. Now, if you're looking at the words yachad me'arba kanfot, together from four corners, then the middle letter, it's not exactly the middle, but in those three words, there's an acronym of a very holy name of the Kadosh Baruch Hu, which is the name Chet Bet Vav. If you're a little bit familiar with the holy names of Hashem, Chet Bet Vav. If you're looking at the Yachad, so it's the Chet of the Yachad, Me'arba, Bet, the Bet of the Arba, and Kanfot, the Vav of the Kanfot. And there's a verse in the book of Eov, book of Job, that can be found in chapter 20, verse 15, and it says, Chayil bala vayakienu umibitno yorushenu el. The translation is, he swallowed up wealth and vomited it out. When I do a sin, then what happens is the godly sparks, they get swallowed into the klippah. When I do a severe sin, such as spilling semen, and not in the appropriate place, which is only in my wife, in the purpose of either procreating or being together in a kosher way, I said it a few times before, when the semen goes in the wrong kli, in the wrong vessel, then it goes directly into the depth of the klippah. Now, since it's part of me, then it has control over me. It has control over my body, my soul, my mind, my thought. It's literally a part of me. So it goes directly into the depth of the klippah. To get it out, it's not so easy to get it out. And as long as it's in the control of the klippah, then the klippah has control over me. So, one friend brings the other. A person sins once, that's it. You already have the car keys, but I call it car keys, by the control of the other side, so you automatically pulled already into it again and again and again. It's like crack, like heroin. That's it. You got the first fix and you're done. And to get out of it, it's almost impossible. Now, when we pray that and we're saying Yachad me'arba kanfot, so highlight. I'll show you later in my siddur. On the video, it's going to be on the screen. The editing is going to add it. But the Chet of Yachad, the Bet of Arba, and the Vav of Kanfot creates a holy name, Chet Bet Vav. We don't pronounce the name, it's irrelevant, but the name is Chet Bet Vav. Chayil bala vayakienu. And the translation, he swallowed up wealth. What is the wealth? Is my power. How did you say yesterday, Doron? Manhood? Manlyhood? I don't know if it doesn't sound so good in Hebrew, in English. My semen, it's my power. It has my DNA, it has everything in it. It has my power. Even a man that chas v'shalom ejaculates over and over and over when it's not going into a holy place, and even if it's going into a holy place, he loses all his power. Even Rambam says, not good to be with your wife so often. Once a week, twice a week. Doing a lot, the man becomes weak. Everything, hair falls out. You should see what Rambam says about that. Hair falls out, teeth fall out, become yellow, gum problems, teeth problems, digesting problems. It's not good for the body. Le'efech, when I keep it inside, that's what's strengthening my body and my mind, the sharpness of my brain, and so forth. So what happens is when I take it out, give it out, it says, he swallowed up wealth. He, the other side of Kedusha, takes up all my power. So this three words, Chayil, Bala, Yakienu. Now, if we go to the verse in Ayov, it ends with Umibitno Yorushenu El, and he vomited it out. Umibitno Yorushenu El. This is, if you're looking at the end letters, this is called Sofei Otiyot. There's another holy name, Vav Vav Lamed, and the last letter of Umibitno, that's a Vav. Yorishenu, Vav El is a Lamed, another very holy name. Now, what you need to do, if you have it in your siddur, good. If not, you write it on a piece of paper. And while you're saying, Yachad me'arba kanfot, first of all, the Ari says, say kanfot long, kanfot. And you have to have in mind, in that specific moment, that you are releasing this godly spark, these nitzotzot, from the klippah. Of course, later on, there's a little bit more greater meditations one can do. But let's focus on this first. That when you're saying vekabtzenu yachad me'arba kanfot haaretz, that I'm asking Hashem, release all this godly spark that fell into the klippah and bring it back to me. And you don't need to do much. I will suggest maybe later you write the letters on your siddur or on a piece of paper, but you have it written. Now again, the last part of the verse, it says, and vomited out, and from his belly God will cast it. So I have to have the meditation, the thought that when I'm getting to this part, which is 3 times a day, you have to stop for a little bit and think for all this godly sparks of yours that got lost, then that should be returned to you. And this is, I know it sounds a little bit difficult. You do it 3 times, you'll get the hang of it. And you don't have to be the Arizal. You have to just focus on what you're doing, because every part of the prayers, you have to have the right kavanah. If you don't have the right kavanah while you're praying and just zooming through the words, that's not good. So we'll do that. I'm saying that regardless. Bli neder, we'll learn every one of the 19 blessings. I know it's called 18, but it's 19 blessings. What does it really mean? That you have a little bit of understanding. What are you saying? You're just doing it like a monkey, how do you say, the one who repeats, a parakeet? Parrot. So you have to have some soul into your prayer. So again, I'm just going to say it again very briefly and fast. When you're saying the words, Yachad me'arba kanfot, so you have the letters inside, Chet Bet Vav, a holy name of Hashem, you have to want to focus it. If you look at my siddur, later on I'll pass it around, you'll see how the letters are highlighted. I mean, I don't know if you can see it much in the video. You know what I'll do for the video? We're going to get fancy here. See, I don't know how much you can really see it. My siddur, it has the letters highlighted. If you don't have it, then write it on a piece of paper. You're not going to find it in these siddurim. So, but nevertheless, again, just briefly, so we're not going to smear this class too long. Yachad me'arba kanfot, that's when you're focusing on these 3 letters of the holy name of Hashem, and also of the end letters of Umibitno Yorushenu El, and your prayer at that point, your meditation at this point. You can do it even with your words. Of course, you don't pronounce words, but Hashem, please release these sparks from the klippah. Now the thing is, why is it so important? First of all, you don't want your possession and your power somewhere else. But the more you release back, then you gain back your power. So it's easier for you to fight the desire. You know, from the last few videos that went online, a lot of people are commenting, it's impossible. That's not true. If you have it locked in your mind that it's impossible, then it's impossible. But if you switch your mind to it's possible mode, then it's possible. What's the big deal? And of course, many say, listen, I'm single. I was also single for many years. It all depends how much you want to achieve something. If you are focused on the target, then nothing should break you. No such a thing. If you have an attitude that it's impossible, you're already giving yourself the permission, it's fine to sin because it's impossible. No, it's not. It's not. It's extremely possible. It all depends how determined you are. It all depends if it's a priority to you. So it's, a person that doesn't want to get rid of a bad habit will find all the ways to justify it. And that's, now I've been pushing for years already with the meat, constantly. The meat is not kosher, stop with the meat. So who argues with me? The ones who like meat. So they'll find all the excuses why it's okay. No, I'm counting on the shchita, I'm counting, it's a majority, I didn't. Just say that you can control your habit and you love stuffing your face with meat, and don't argue with me. So it's the same thing here. If you don't want to let go of your habit, then you'll find all the justifications why it's right and why you can't stop. So some people are addicted to heroin, some people are addicted to gambling, and many people are addicted to porn. That's it, end of story. That's how it is. There's no nice way of saying it, but that's the reality. I know it's embarrassing, it's inappropriate, why you're talking like that, but that's the fact. End of story. There's no nice way of putting it. And you think Hashem is happy with this? No! He destroyed Sodom with nuclear attack or with asteroids, however it came. I don't know how it came. It says fire from the heavens. That's it. Whether it came with a nuclear bomb or with an asteroid, who cares? Sodom was wiped off the map. End of story. And any other city, also Nineveh almost lost it when Hashem lost his anger. They had the merit that Yonah came there and told them, listen, you're going to be wiped off the map. So they got their act together and voila. So the point is, no, this is just excuses. It's impossible, I can't. Okay, so throw the computer out of the window. Why you keep a loaded gun at home? Why, you know how many accidents in the home there are? Because somebody keeps their gun at home. So don't keep a loaded gun at home. But if you can get rid of your little candy, if you don't want to, I can't. I can only show you the way. I can't convince you what to do. So, but the reality, that's the reality. Now we're in a place already that there's no time to smear the truth, to hide the truth, to sugarcoat the truth. This is the fact. It's hard for you to deal with it, and you have a problem, because the end is very clear and very close. And don't look at it in a negative. It's a very good thing. The end is the beginning of a great beginning, but it's also going to come with some pain. It's going to come with a kvetch, and the less angry Hashem is, and a lot of people are commenting, "What, Hashem is angry?" Yeah. Deal with it. It says in the Torah very clearly. And anyone who tells you, no, Hashem doesn't get angry, He loves us. Okay, I also love my kids, and when they cross lines, I get angry. Especially when it costs me a lot of money. So, listen, it's almost getting already to a point that you want to throw up this, no, Hashem, He loves us, don't worry. So, we're really already at a point that you can't try to sweep things under the table. It's time to face the reality. It's hard for you to face the reality, then you have a big problem. Face the reality. You can't sweep things under the rug. So there's no other ways of saying it, by the way, but the reality is Jews, non-Jews, religious, non-religious, everybody's affected with the disease. But it has to be dealt with. And by the way, non-Jews too, by the way, it's nothing to do. A lot of non-Jews are saying, is that also have to do with us? Well, of course. Well, what's the difference? It's also an act of immorality in a disgusting way, and Hashem is not expecting you to behave like that. Well, because you're not a Jew, then you can do whatever you want. Then the Jews will start converting to being non-Jews, just to have fun. It doesn't work like that. So everything has to be put in control. I'm already telling you that, and there's a lot more to say about this. But now I'm trying to give as many tools as possible to drain the swamp. You have to have the right intention that when I'm praying, stop. Look at the words. I know you don't understand necessarily the words, so write it down. And have in mind, I want some of my precious diamonds back, because that is my power. Now, the more power you give to the other side, the weaker you are. You're going to be led by your nose very easily. The more power you gain back, then you have power to fight. It's very simple. So this is how you start getting the power back. And of course, when you have more power, then the fight is different. You have the upper hand. You know how to control. You know how to put things, in the right place. So again, this is very briefly about that. like I said before, if you don't have it in your Sidurim, which most of the Sidurim don't have it, then you write it down on a piece of paper. Or you take your Sidur and take a marker and highlight the letters and what to think of, and you can write on your Sidur. There's nothing wrong with putting commentary on your own Sidur if it's yours, not if it belongs to the shul. And if yes, then take a little piece of paper. That's what I used to do when I became observant. I would write on a piece of paper things, or stickers, and put it on my Sidur so I can focus on it. But one of the tools of fighting the other side is I need power. If I'm weak, then you can't fight anything. That's exactly what the other side wants, to weaken you. Because when you're weak, you can't fight back. If you're strong, you will fight back. You have to fight back. And you have to make a switch in your mind. This is a fight. This is a fight not only for the name of Hashem, this is the fight of survival. Because I don't think any normal human being will take his kids and say, here, to give to some rapist or some predator or some molester, here's my kid, do whatever you want, give it back, it's due to me at 6 o'clock in the evening. Who would do such a thing? If you know that the kindergarten is a, how do you call the pedophile? You put the child in the kindergarten? No. So why would you want to give your spiritual kids to a spiritual predator? Give it back. It doesn't belong to you. And needless to say, that you have to imagine the scene in your mind when you're giving your power to the other side of Klippa, to the Klippa, the other side of holiness, it has control over you. It has 100% control over you. Your thoughts, your emotions, your everything. So you're becoming like a zombie. So you gotta take your power back. Doesn't belong to anybody else but you. Besides that, it's not even yours. It belongs to the Kadosh Baruch Hu. So again, Yachad Me'arba Kanfot, Chet, Bet, Vav, and then Chayil, Balav, Yakiel, Mi Bitno Yerushen Oel, Vav, Vav, Lamed. The letters were put on the editing, and I don't know if people listen to the class, they don't look at the screen. So whoever's listening to the class online, look at the screen, because we're going to write it all on the screen. And usually stuff like that we also put in the description, and also in the description of the website. And Bezrat Hashem, add that to your arsenal. It's anyways you're praying 3 times a day. Just add it back to your, write it down, and you'll see. I guarantee to you, when I guarantee something, it's because I did it for years and I see how it works. Or I told people to do it and I see how it works for them. I will not give you a guarantee. I guarantee to you, focus on this again, not for 2 days. A lot of people say, I tried it, didn't work. Well, how many times you tried? 2. Well, yeah, do it for 40 consecutive days, then come back to me. And if 40 days didn't work, do it for 120 days. And you think you're going to gain power within 2 attempts? No. The Yetzer Hara, like we read yesterday in the Zohar, the stronger you grow, the Yetzer Hara will punch you even stronger because he wants to make sure that you don't grow. So you have to be smart in this war. This is the last war that we have. I think people are already seeing with their own eyes what's going on in the streets, how the world is going completely bonkers. And if the world is going bonkers, it means that it's all manifesting from a spiritual place. It's not coming from anywhere else. It's coming from a spiritual place. That the Klippa is going cuckoo, knowing that its days are numbered. So the Klippa is being dressed in people, so the people are going cuckoo. And then you see all these videos of policemen brutally beating people, and people fighting with each other, and this is nothing. Prepare yourself psychologically, emotionally, and mentally. What you're seeing now is nothing compared to what we're going to see with our eyes very soon. And it's not that I'm wishing that. I'm just realistic. It's Baruch Hashem. Hashem is so kind that He's slowly introducing it to us. Which is, I think, is not necessarily the right way, because then we get used to it. It's normal for us to see a policeman brutally beating a person because he's not wearing a piece of cloth on his face, when the policeman himself is not wearing that cloth. That's how pathetic it is. But it's okay. So people are standing like this. Why are you filming it? Do something. And I'm not telling you to do anything violent. Don't take my words out of context and say, oh, Rabbi Anava gave me a green light to start beating up people. I'm not saying everything, but you can't just stand as a bypass. Something needs to be done. This is the final war, and you are the soldier, by the way. So get your act together, put everything in the right perspective, and understand that there's no much leeway for discounts right now, and I'll do it next month. Next month we might be locked in our houses again, by the way. So, the Mishnah says, Al tidche lemachar ma she'efshar lasot hayom. Don't delay something for tomorrow when you can do it today. You do it today. And again, it's all exciting news because it means we're one step closer to the redemption. One step closer to when we're free. But it's going to come with a little kvetch. This is a little, listen, I'm going to start saying big. It's going to come in a huge kvetch. But the more we do damage control, the more we gain power back, easier to fight. And I note that I want to put anybody on the spot. The Zohar is very extreme, and the Zohar says anyone who guards the Brit, these will be the ones who survive. The ones who don't guard the Brit have slight chance to survive. And again, just to summarize, because a lot of women are asking how's that going to do with them, also a woman loses her godly sparks to the Tumah if she is active and she's responsible. The women are not innocent or they have a free pass here. If the woman is part of the sin, her power also goes to the klippah. And she has also the ability and the need to pull it out. No difference. And again, I don't know who invented the fact that women are exempt from praying. I don't understand that. Women think that they're exempt from praying. They're not. I said that 1,000 times. Sephardi women have to pray once a day. Ashkenazi women have to pray twice a day. That's not including Birkat Hamazon and Kriyat Shema L'Mitah. So I know such shacharit is hard. So do mincha and arvit. Or mincha, or arvit. Hashem yazor lanu. Hashem should help us to really be focused on what we need to do. You should be focused on what you need to do. You need to have the awareness. You have to stop with the attitude of, I can't. It's too hard. No, you have to have an attitude of a fighter. I can and I will, and Hashem will help me. And Hashem will give me the power. Don't take a loser's attitude. I can't, it's too hard for me. So work hard. So put effort. So, I know it doesn't sound so nice. Instead of sinning 7 times a week, so sin 3 times a week. Some control. Something. Because when you're trying, then Hashem will kick in. When you're totally giving up before you even start, then Hashem says, okay, so I have nothing to work here. And listen, we're going to talk a lot more about it because I can only share my own experience. And I can share what worked, what didn't work. But the most important is damage control. Empty the dingy. Maybe we should call the video, and empty the dingy. Empty the dingy. I have even a picture of me once emptying the dinghy. One time when I was on the yacht, so one leg was on the yacht, one leg was on the dinghy, and it started going, and I fell in the water. So I actually have a picture of me emptying the dinghy. So empty the dinghy, for God's sake.